Today we're going to be replacing a shifter cable that has started to unravel, but not only are we going to be replacing the cable and adjusting the tension, we are going to check the limit screws top and bottom, and we are also going to check the retention. As you can see on the shifter, there's a little that looks like a Phillips head over there, that star screw. Now if you've got your bike in the lowest gear or in your heaviest gear, then this whole system has lined up in such a way that the shifter cable lines up with that hole. If you take out that little screw, the shifter cable should be able to just come right straight out of that hole. That is the little screw right over there on the inside. That is that little head for the shifter cable. That same little head that's on the new cable. So this part will just slot into the shifter and keep it in position. So first we're going to remove this little end cap. See it all unraveling. Now we can go ahead and loosen the bolt holding the cable in its place. Okay. Now we're going to pull the cable out through the housing, right out of the shifter. But to make it a little easier, I'm going to remove this little bend here, and then it might just pull out a lot easier. Let's do it here before it starts unraveling. Now we want it to come out this side, so I'm just gonna push it slightly from the side, and then you'll see, yeah, hello. If you're smart, you will keep this cable, because one day, I mean, this cable is now a little shorter, but this is a large frame bike. So anything from a medium down to a small, you might be able to use this cable again. So we put it in the reusable stash. So here I have the new one. I'm just going to make sure that it is long enough. Whoa. You don't want to pull it through and then it is all too short. I think it's going to be long enough. I've seen people dab a little oil on the end of the cable before they push it through. I guess it's just to help keep it lubricated on the inside. So you can see I've got my drops of oil on the end there, and we're going to start pushing it through. Hopefully you can get it to go. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so the cable is out of the housing, but we still have slack on the shifter side. We need to pull through all that slack because there's a rivet on the end of the cable on that side which needs to slot into the shifter. It's got a specific place over there, so as soon as you shift, it will pull on the cable and move it into the position that it needs to be. Okay, you can see it's right there where it needs to be. So now we can go ahead and tighten it on the derailleur side and then start adjusting the tension. But before we do that, this is your barrel adjuster, and you use this to adjust the tension on the cable. Now this section screws into the shifter, so if you go ahead and screw this all the way out lefty-loosey, you will get to a stage where eventually you will get it to be completely loose from the shifter, like that. So how the tensioning works is if you screw the barrel adjuster outwards, in other words lefty-loosey out, you are putting tension on your cable, which helps when you want to shift up or to an easier gear. So obviously the opposite is true for shifting downwards. If you want to shift to the lower gear or a harder pedaling gear, then you are putting slack on the cable So if you battle to shift downwards, then you need to screw in the barrel adjuster, which will put slack on the cable. So barrel adjuster out for tension, barrel adjuster in for slack. So to be able to do very easy adjustments later on, we will screw in the barrel adjuster all the way until it basically locks. There, locked. And now we will do 1, 2, that is 1 full rotation, 1, 2, a second full rotation outwards. So now when we pull the cable tight at the derailleur side, there's enough space now for the barrel adjuster to go in or out, so we will be able to get our shifting perfect. So we're gonna put it on that little bracket, and we have it in the lowest gear at the moment, so we don't want it to be too tight, but I'm gonna pull it hand tight, and then we are just gonna tighten up this bolt and then see where we are shifting wise. I've done this before where I didn't need to do any adjustments with the barrel adjuster, but I guess you're not always going to be lucky. Okay, let's run through the gears and see what happens. No shifting. Put a little tension on there. Better. Whoops. Okay, so we have got it all the way up. We're not done yet. We've got to take it all the way down as well, and after that we have to see if it goes back up again, which hopefully it does. Back up again. Okay, I'm pretty happy shifting wise. There is a few other things that we still need to do. We need to put back this little screw by the shifter. We've got to cut off all this excess and then put a little rivet on that, or a little cable end, whatever you want to call it. Then right over here we've got limit screws for the top and bottom limit. This is just to prohibit the chain from going off the cassette at the bottom or off the cassette at the top, which could obviously cause damage either way. We're just going to double check that, and then we also have the B tension screw that needs to put the derailleur close to the cassette. There's obviously a specific distance that the derailleur, the top jockey wheel, needs to be from the cassette, and luckily with the 12 speed there's a indication, so you know exactly where to put it. Let's see if we can wangle that guy in there without letting it drop. This doesn't need to be that tight. There we go, in its place. Getting the cable to the correct length. This is obviously your own personal preference, but what I usually aim for is to get that little cable end right about here, that length, so we will need to cut it off right about there. So we're just gonna eyeball it, cut it to length, and these little guys, I ordered a bunch of them off Temu. Nice little cable end, which just makes it look a lot more professional. don't you think? Just put that on there. There we go, nice and professional. Okay, so what I want to try and show you here is that back screw over there is already touching on the derailleur itself, so that is your bottom limit already in its place. Okay, we've got it in the top gear now, and as you can see, that top limit screw is already touching the derailleur. So top limit is also set. This is your top jockey wheel, you see, bottom, the top one, and that is the biggest cog on the cassette, and there is a little indication where you need to set your derailleur upwards so that that line lines up with the teeth of your biggest cog on the derailleur, or at least that's what I think it's supposed to be. So at the moment you can see you can set the B tension a little and take that derailleur upwards a little, and that little Allen cap screw over there is the B tensioning screw. So we're gonna just do a little adjustment on that one. Okay, let's see. Okay, I think that is okay for now. So I'm happy with how this bike is shifting at the moment. After the shifter cable has been replaced and we have set the tension, we have checked the limit screws, and we've adjusted the B tension on the derailleur. I'm quite happy with how this bike is shifting at the moment. I'm not 100% sure about where the B tension is supposed to be. That indication is a guideline as I understand it, but like I said, I'm happy with how the shifting is performing. I did take the bike out for a ride up and down the street a little, and I'm quite confident that everything is the way it should be. If you know a little bit more about the B tensioning, don't be shy to leave some information in the comments. This whole setup is a Shimano 12-speed setup, so this might not be exactly the same way that you need to do it on your bike, but the fundamentals stay the same. You need to replace the cable, you need to set the tension, and you need to set up the derailleur the correct way. Saying that, like I always say, I'm not a mechanic. I'm a DIY kind of guy. I like to scratch on my own bike and see what I can accomplish. And usually when I do get good results, I try to make a video of it and share it to the public. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. You're welcome to leave a comment if you've got anything to add to this whole activity. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.